Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to be able to meet you, virtually, of course. Maybe you could kick off with a brief introduction to the baby for people who don't know anything about it. What can they expect?
Hello, Sarah. Nice to meet you. So The Baby is a dark comedy horror that takes a look on motherhood and interpersonal relationships. So, mum, siblings, with your friends, all of that kind of stuff.
And what did you think when you first read this script? Because it feels like something we haven't seen on screen before. It's quite a mad concept. And what was the appeal for you for taking on the role of Natasha?
Natasha, I was so excited when I saw this script because I was just like, wow, Natasha is such an unfiltered, unfluffy, straight to the point, no holds barred kind of character. Yet she's still a girl's girl. You know what I mean? Like there's something that's really abrasive yet charming about her. And so she was a really fun character to play because she just says exactly what she thinks.
And kind of skirting this line, I guess, between, yeah, like you say, dark comedy and horror, it's got a really particular tone to it. So, what was the appeal for that in that sense of the script, but also how did you make that work, with the director and everything on set?
Well, I'm a huge fan of horror. I love the genre of horror. So I've been watching horror films for years. So to be part of a show that's horror, especially with like a diverse queer cast, was like chef's kiss for me. And I, do stand-up comedy. So getting to incorporate two things that I really love was exciting. And it's got like a lot of jump scares and a lot of gore and a really adorable, cute baby. So, tick, tick, tick.
And in that sense, what was the shoot like? What were some of maybe the best moments or the most difficult moments from doing all the kind of gory stuff and the horror type scenes, but then also working with a real life baby?
Yeah, you just answered the question, all of that.
Was there a moment where you're like, I don't know if I can do this?
Was there a moment when I was like, I don't know if I could do this? No, I always felt like pretty well supported and it was fun on set. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess the times where I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this was we had like certain songs that we would sing for the babies because the babies are twins, right? The main babies. And we just sang so many nursery rhymes. We sang the same nursery rhyme so many times that I think all the cast and crew started to go a little bit like in the eyes, you know what I mean? A little bit out there.
And did you have to get used to working with the baby? I don't know. Like, I guess normally you have to rehearse with your co-stars, but this is a very particular kind of co-star.
Yeah, because babies are babies and they don't know they're acting. So, and unless you're a bit of an arse, you're gonna take some time so the babies get to know you. And also for your own benefit, you need the babies to be comfortable with you because they're babies. And so it's gonna make everyone's time on set a bit easier, the more relaxed that the babies are and the more familiar that they are with you. So yeah, for sure.
And of course, on the face of it, it is quite a mad concept, but it's dealing with some very real issues, with the kind of anxieties that exist around motherhood and becoming a mother. So, how do you think that it kind of draws on those things, but through this very particular medium and lens?
Can you ask the question again? Sorry.
How it touches on different aspects of motherhood, but using this premise to kind of explore those, anxieties around becoming a mother.
Yeah. Well, I think that what Sean and Lucy, the creators and all the different writers that we had on the show, what they've done so well is at times the themes and the topics get so abstract, right? But regardless, still very much relatable. And they've managed to get some really tense moments and still make them really funny, you know? So I think that there's some really good palate cleansers when it does get tense, especially themes around sort of, you know, caregiving and adoption and whether you want children or don't want children and what that should mean and what it means to be a woman in society and the sort of pressures that are put on you as a mum. And they give it some really good comedy breaks as well. So just when you think like this is getting really heavy, there's some laughter thrown in. So that's what I think the show does a good job of in terms of looking through the lens of motherhood and caregiving. But of course, that's just my opinion. And, you know, I'm sure viewers will take away something different.
And it does feel like maybe it's one of the last taboos to talk about kind of ambivalence around being a mother. I was thinking, you know, like when The Lost Daughter came out, there was so much discussion about that, about how it made people uncomfortable. But it feels like we're finding more in different ways. And this is a completely fresh way of looking at that same idea. And it's something quite welcome on screen, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess, you know, when we think about, we say taboo, but I guess what taboo is just something that isn't spoken about much, right? And what you want is to be able to even the difficult topics, you want to feel like there's a safe space that you can speak about stuff. And hopefully this show can be, you know, another vehicle to do that, especially if you're isolated or with your friends, or, you know, like the show that you were just speaking about. Even if people are having conversations through the lens of only speaking about that show, they're still having conversations, right? So I think that's important.
And there's something that I love about it. Maybe it's just because I'm like in my late 30s, just had a kid amongst friends, you know, who are going through these things. It feels very relatable, even despite it being this very particular kind of tone and medium. So is that something else that's great to see more on screen? It's the women's experience, millennial women's experience, which we haven't seen as much of before.
Yeah, exactly. And what I loved about the writing on this show is that wherever you are on the spectrum, right? So whether you're someone who has children, doesn't have children, wants to be a parent, it covers quite a lot of different perspectives. Do you know what I mean? And then even the central character, her perspective on things changes as well as the show goes on. So that's something that I found really refreshing about this.
And without giving too much away, do you have a favorite moment in the series or a favorite episode in terms of, you know, people are expecting to watch it?
Yes, my favorite episode, my favorite moment is the first scene that you see Natasha in episode 1. So I don't think I'm giving anything away there. It's the poker scene, and it's the first time you meet Natasha. So I think that's my favorite episode because I got to do it with Siobhan Marks and Izzy Sooty, and they're such divine, hilarious, fun actors, and so it was a great day on screen, and it was a great day off screen as well because they're so funny, and it was the first time I'd really met them properly, and it was also, I think, probably the first and last time that you see Natasha with people that much until way later down in the series. So from an acting point of view, after that scene, it was just me and the baby for a while. So yeah, I'd say the first scene that you see Natasha in.
I was cringing in that first scene because it's so true to life, because I've been both the people in that scenario, the one telling the story and the one not listening. So and in terms of, you know, your own work, you know, have you got other stuff happening after the baby? Have you got anything else in the pipeline? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, the baby for me finished a while ago. We finished the baby in November, so I'm happy that we get to do this part of it now. I had been supporting Catherine Ryan on tour, and I just did her show that's come out called Backstage with Catherine Ryan. So it was nice to do some stand-up and work with her again, because I paid her, friend on the Duchess. And I start my own tour next year, and I'm doing some writing, which hopefully I'll be able to speak more about in the future.
Amazing. Smashing it. Sounds a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. I can't wait for everyone else to get stuck into the baby. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks,
Love to
Sarah.
chat to you. Thanks. Bye.